Welcome to the Business Mumma podcast, where we chat about creating a business that supports and flows with your family and with your life, not the other way around. Hi, I'm your host, Annalise Swan. I'm a marketing agency owner and a mother of 3 little ones. I'll be bringing you conversations with successful women in business, as well as practical marketing strategies and tips that you can action right away. So let's get into it. In this episode, I interviewed Sarah Butler. Sarah co-founded Organic Angels with her husband Scott over a decade ago. Organic Angels delivers certified organic produce around Melbourne and Victoria. The business idea was sparked when they were planning to introduce solid foods to their first son and started in their home kitchen in 2006, delivering 10 boxes a week from their station wagon. The business is now a very different, much larger enterprise, and I was so honoured to interview Sarah and hear her story and learn her perspective on combining business and family life and working with your partner. There are so many great insights here from this incredible business mama, so please enjoy. Welcome, Sarah, to the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. I'm really excited about this conversation. But first things first, would you just be able to introduce yourself and your business, please?
Sure. So my name's Sarah and my business is Organic Angels, and we're a home delivery company that packs up certified organic fruit and veggies, and we home deliver all over Melbourne and Victoria.
Yay. Exciting. And you guys have been running for a while.
Yeah. So we started the business in 2006 from our home kitchen at the time. And we did all the deliveries and the packing by ourselves, like in the car. And I actually did it. My husband had a corporate job at the time. And then it just, slowly grew, word of mouth. Had a shift after 18 months when we got mentioned in The Age, the Sunday Life magazine. And that just sort of catapulted our business to beyond, like we had to open up more delivery days, and my husband quit his corporate job. And then we've just been going and growing ever since.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So why did you get started in the first place?
So we had the idea for the business around the time when my eldest, who's now nearly 15, he was 6 months old, and it was time to introduce him solid foods. And I wanted to find organic produce for him because, he was this purely gorgeous breastfed baby, and I was just a bit conscious around the chemicals and pesticides in foods and didn't really want to put that in his body. And trying to find where I could get organic produce home delivered because we were both working. I went back to work early on. I love the convenience of having things delivered because I hated shopping, especially with him because he wasn't an easy baby. So, and then it just happened around the time where my husband was on the bus on his way back from the city. And he'd read an article about Abel and Cole, which is a huge organic home delivery company in the UK. And Keith Abel, the founder, started it just by delivering organic produce on the back of his bike to homes and just delivering it right up into their kitchen, bench, kitchen table sort of thing. And I'm like, that's awesome, that kind of service. Where can you get that? And we just both looked at each other and said, we should do this. Let's see if we can make this happen. And it was just like one of those, we'd had lots and lots of business ideas over the years, but that was the one that obviously stuck because we're still doing it. But it was the light bulb moment, which was, this is what we need to do. And we invested into building the website and developing the idea and the brand and researching it, and just started delivering from our home kitchen. Like we just went to the markets, got the produce, packed it up, delivered it to friends and family first, and started off with doing about 10 boxes a week. 10 orders a week, and we've been doing about 370 orders a week this year.
So. Amazing. It makes me so happy because I'm really passionate about organic food, and it makes me happy. Everything about it, like, home-based business, you're doing it together with your hubby. Yeah, love it.
It's definitely got that feel-good feel to it. I can't believe that it's been 13 years. Like, it's just, I never imagined that we'd still be doing it.
You must love it. But I guess it's evolved too. It doesn't sound like the same business that it was back then. So,
Oh, yeah, it really has evolved so much. And I think that's the whole part of us still going is just constantly needing to change and evolve and innovate to keep up with really how, because back in 2006, Facebook had just launched and, social media was just not around much in terms of marketing and getting your branding out there and even just getting it was just all word of mouth. But now it's just a whole new world. We've had to upskill in so many areas to keep up with how the market's growing.
Yeah. And I guess back then, the whole awareness around organic lifestyle and stuff wasn't such a big thing, or am I wrong? Is it just me that has evolved over the last few years?
Yeah, so in 2006, the biggest thing that we were having to overcome, not just about people wanting organic food, was using the whole online shopping experience and trusting that they could actually do that and put their credit card in and all that was going to be okay. And also often getting asked, how do I know that your produce is certified organic or 100% organic they use? Like that's the sort of terminology that people use. So we had to really educate customers around shopping online and how safe and secure that actually was. And once they got to see that that was working, that was gaining traction and word of mouth. And then we, early on in the piece, we also got our certification with the Australian Certified Organic, which assured people that we are giving them certified organic produce. We're not just going and buying conventional produce and putting that in the boxes. And we've been certified ever since with them. And that's been really great for our brand because we're not really asked that question so much anymore. It seems that people's trust around shopping online these days is just so different. We're very rarely asked how safe is it to use our website, or people don't really blink an eye or question saving their credit card to a website these days. So yeah, just a huge shift in how we've had to sort of evolve and educate customers along the way as well.
So how did you grow your business from 10 boxes a week to 350?
So it was purely word of mouth, and used to frustrate the heck out of me because we had no capital to really throw a lot of money into marketing. And we were just lucky that in that 18-month period of having the business, we got that mention in The Age. And that catapulted the business from, literally orders were ticking in. Over that weekend, we had 2,000 hits to the website. And we were in our study just watching these orders clicking through, and we're just going, oh my goodness, how are we going to do this? And we ended up calling on friends. For over a 6-week period, we had cars coming and going to our house, and people volunteering to pack and help us pack boxes. And then we'd chuck them in their cars and then they'd go off. And we had like 6 friends doing different parts of Melbourne to deliver because we had to keep up with this huge influx of orders. And my husband handed in his resignation with his corporate job at that point and said, I'm out of here. I've got this business now that's booming. And so we went from 1 day to 2 days, and it just slowly grew word of mouth. We were lucky to have a few articles here and there because we was a new business on the market. Like I said, we never had a lot of money to throw into the business. It's only really in the last probably 3 years that we've actually started to really increase our marketing spend to an enormous amount.
So what do you do for marketing now?
We find a lot of value in not only just attracting new customers, which we do through Facebook ads and Google advertising and Instagram and stuff, but we also find we put a lot of money into keeping our current customers happy as well. Like we see that really adds value well. So we're spending heaps of money at the moment on Facebook and Google ads, and that's working really, really well. And we're about to invest more money into different marketing things to actually keep that current customer and new customers on the fringe informed, like just doing a whole newsletter series that's just really engaging. Just trying to add value and information out there to current and new customers.
So what is it that you offer your customers to retain them?
So we have like a VIP service. So we call it, when they sign up as a VIP customer, it's them setting up a subscription order. So our whole new website that we got developed a couple of years ago when we rebranded is all set up so that we can have a subscription order model. So customers can set and forget their order almost. They can have a weekly box delivered and that's it. And we find that when they're in there, they get the extra special treatment, I guess, as a VIP for their commitment. We really try and communicate well with the customers along the way. They always get a call from us on their first order, after their first order, and then we give out little gifts on their 5th and 10th order and just really try and keep them engaged. And then we're able to sort of see at what point do they drop off and how do we keep them in.
Cool. Thanks for sharing that. I think that's really valuable for people to hear how that looks practically.
Oh, yeah.
There's so much about marketing. People are like, yes, retain your customers because that's, going to save you more money. And like, yeah, great. But like actually how and what actually works. So you are a mum. You have 3 boys, am I right?
Correct. Yep.
How do you balance or not being a mum and running this business?
I think I always have this sort of line in the sand of before and now. Like I feel like in the early days it was such a blur. The business was so hectic and so busy and hands-on, and I was required to be there early hours and lots of hours, and the kids were young. And I know I actually did get burnt out. Like I dead set got depleted and really, really burnt out. I felt like I wasn't really good. I spread myself way too thin, so I wasn't really good on the mum front. I just probably just was so exhausted. I mean, how do I juggle it? It's just a juggle. It always is. And I think now as the kids are getting older, I really feel that my priority is more for them. I think a lot of fear and drive making me go as fast as I did in those early days, which in a way I forgot to be there in terms of being present to the child. Like, one of them's playing on the carpet and he's just playing puzzles and I'm on the computer, my back turned away, just busy getting emails done because they had to be done. And, no boundaries around my time for that. And I think that would just create a lot of stress. But now I really just make sure that I'm in my work zone and I switch off and I'm there just to be there for the kids a lot more. And since moving down to the beach, it's definitely slowed down our lifestyle a lot, and it's made me appreciate being there for them a lot more.
Yeah. When did you make the move down here?
So that was 2 years ago.
So along the way, what are some of the biggest challenges that you've experienced?
I think the biggest challenge is trying to keep up with a very fast growing business, constantly evolving and changing to its pace. And I don't necessarily thrive on that. I'm not one of these highly energized people that thrive on all that change. And I like consistency, and I like to have all my ducks lined up, and it just felt like nothing was ever lined up. I was just flying off the seat of my pants a lot of the time. Definitely juggling with the kids. And my biggest challenge after that, really, I did get to that point of burnout, was actually finding out that I had Hashimoto's, which is a thyroid autoimmune condition, and that would explain a lot of my burnout symptoms. And really just starting to build my body back up and get strong in my body and mind to be able to really input in the business and at home.
How did you adapt to the business growing?
It was constantly changing. So it was getting staff in when we need to get staff in, and we just made it happen. And we still are very much like that. If we have to do it, we just make it happen. I think eventually at the 10-year mark, we started to have a business coach, and every year we've had a business coach in some way or form since then. And I think they are incredible, like in helping us really become innovative and help us keep us accountable to how do we implement the things that need to be done. And we just do so much research and reading, and what we can offer, listen to the customers, what do they want, and what can we offer, and change.
So is the strategic side more your strength or your husband's strength, or do you do all of that together?
He's very systems and process minded, and he's created just the most amazing systems to make the business flow really, really well. And I believe that's why we're still going today. I know a lot of our competitors have shut down because it is a really difficult industry to be in. We're dealing with a perishable product, and then we've got to transport it, and then it's a high end product, so you want to make sure that your customers really feel like they're being heard and they're valued and they're getting what they pay for. And so we've had to really make our system super efficient, and so Scott's been fantastic at that. Yeah, like we're strategic in that we will have always thinking, okay, what's the next thing that we can do to improve, and then what's the time frame to get there, and who's doing what, and we're pretty good at separating tasks now.
Yeah, so it sounds
Yeah.
like you guys have a really good partnership in the way that you work. I mean, obviously you're still here 13 years later working together, so you must. It's just really fascinating to me because I don't have a product-based business, and so how you look at the numbers and the forecasts and then make decisions around, okay, well, these are the people that we need to hire, or we're going to need to move to a different premises, or like that just really fascinates me. So
yeah, well, let me just say on that, every time they were all seemed like huge risky moves, right? From employing our first admin person to upgrading from the back of we used to deliver in the back of our station wagon, to buying a van, and then moving from the house to a premises, and then we've moved twice since then, and our next big move is a warehouse. So all of those strategic decisions, obviously you need to look at your money and go, okay, can this actually be done? But it has always been a massive step of faith, and every single time I can say without fail that we have stepped into something greater that needed more for us to fill this. It was filled in orders, it was filled in time, and everything that we needed to help grow the business. So even just moving here, we're now an hour and a half away from the business. It's like, well, we can't be there every time all the time now, so we've had to employ a lot more staff, but it's like the business hasn't suffered because of it, it's gained. So it's been really good.
So what's your role in the business now? What does your week or your day look like?
My role in the business these days is doing the marketing. So I'll do a lot of social media posts, and even though we like I said, we pay for ads and stuff, but I do our own Instagram and Facebook, and I do all the content for newsletters that go out, and organise specials and sort of communicating to the customers. And I've got to plan things like and get ready for our audit that's coming up soon with the Australian Certified Organic. Also, I like to do customer calls occasionally. So I'll phone sort of random VIP customers to touch base and see how they're going. And I do a lot of stuff with the staff. So in around training them and making sure all their documents and everything, inductions are planned and put together. So all the boxes are ticked. Yeah.
Cool. So HR and marketing side. Mostly.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And in the early days, like I said, I was down at the office at 5:30 and did lots of packing and managing the packing team, and that was my thing for years actually. And I did that even while I was pregnant, and doing a lot of lifting. And I just decided my body can't quite do that so much anymore. So yeah, I kind of miss being around the packing team because it was fun vibes. But yeah.
Isn't it funny how as your business grows, often the bits that you started it for or that you loved, you kind of can't do anymore because it just doesn't make practical sense.
Oh,
and you have to be that business owner, like CEO more role rather than in it.
Yeah, it's so true. Oh gosh, because I love being around the veggies. Like I just loved it. It was just, but I don't see them to that degree anymore. All the staff, like being around, fun. It's fun team vibe.
Yeah, I get it because I love getting in ad accounts and that kind of thing, and I do that very little now. But that's okay. I normally have one kind of freelance passion project that I'm doing, and that keeps me in touch with those sort of skills and fulfills my love of that. But I get it. Can you tell me a bit more about business coaching?
Sure.
So how has that worked for you?
We hired a business coach at a time that was in a really difficult time in our business. So it was around the 10-year mark, and we felt really, really stuck. We weren't really growing as much as we wanted to. Felt like we'd lost a little bit of that vision and that passion and why we were actually doing what we were doing. And, it was frustrating in that place because you can't see past your own stuff, like, because you blame a million things like the economy or whatever, but we came across this coach, and it was like he really came to us at the perfect time because he was the kick up the butt that we needed, but really asked us some very strong, powerful questions, really relating back to why are we doing this, and not just what is our business vision, but what's our personal vision, and how can our business be the vessel to help bring that personal vision to life. And we hadn't really seen it like that for so long, and we'd been so bogged down in running business that we forgot actually what is it that we want to fulfill as a individually, as a couple, and as a family. Like, what's our personal dream? Like, even moving down to the beach, for example, was one of those, but we never dreamed that we could make that happen as soon as we did. But the coach was great in narrowing down, like really getting to the nitty gritty of the finances and strategic planning, but also asking really strong, powerful questions that helped us overcome heaps of mind, blockages around money and, how to have this successful business and really have the dream life that we want at the same time.
Yeah. Sounds great.
Yeah. So that was great for the period that we had him. And then we had someone else for a little while, which was a married couple, and they were fantastic. And every coach that we've had has really worked for the season that we're in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sounds like a really valuable resource to get someone, those outside eyes looking in, that's actually willing to ask the hard questions.
Yeah, it really is. And we're just on that note, like on a side business that we are pursuing, like we really feel for married couples in business, there's a real need for that mentoring and coaching. And so we're starting up our own podcast soon called Soulmates in Business. And I'd love to start doing some training around life coaching, because eventually Scott and I would love to do that coaching and mentoring for couples in business, because, after being married for 20 years and doing business for 13, we know we feel like we've been through everything, and
something about it. Yeah.
Yeah, you need in this space, and you really need that support. And we found so much value in coaching that we want to be able to add that value to others.
Yeah, amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I look forward to listening to that one.
Yeah,
hubby and I have a business. So.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Tune in. It's a labour of love. This whole podcasting. Hey.
It's true. It is true. Okay, so how do you, outside of the coaching side, how do you keep yourself motivated and growing and learning?
I am so curious about learning. That just seems to be in my DNA and always has been. So I do a lot of reading. I've done, went away recently to Byron Bay for a 2-3 day retreat for women in business, which I love, because there was a real element around wellness in that, not just business strategy tips, but, really about finding your voice and your power. And, I loved all that. That was amazing. And I do a lot of, like I said, I do a lot of reading, listening to podcasts, and just upskilling. Like I said, I want to do some coaching training myself, just to really understand how I can apply that to my own life and to others.
Yeah, it is really interesting. I did a wellness coaching course. So my hobby has always been fitness, and I've got a diploma in fitness, and I worked for Fernwood for a while managing their training company.
Cool.
And within that, I did a wellness coaching course, and it was unlike anything I'd ever done, because it is all about asking the questions and learning how to ask better questions. And that was so, like, you're not learning facts and, there's no end result. It was really interesting, the whole course. And I really struggled at first getting my head space in that.
Yeah.
But I guess if you've done business coaching, which at that time I hadn't, you are already aware of that frame of mind, whereas it was a total reframe for me.
Yeah, well, our first experience was like that too. I was a little bit shocked. I was like, oh, like, gosh, that's a bit of a hardcore question. Like, I've never actually considered that and even thought that deeply about it. And it was just, it really helped it unravel heaps. But it was that whole coaching experience really transformed our business, actually. So I totally recommend people having a coach at some point.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm.
My next question was, what does the future hold for you? But maybe you've already answered that.
Oh, yeah, we're soulmates in business. I think that's a real passion project for us. Organic Angels is still our baby. Well, it's not really a baby anymore. It's a teenager, as someone reminded me the other day. I don't need to hold its hand so much anymore. And just really thinking about what else can we do to add value in other people's lives and to our own. And I guess thinking future-wise, it's like, well, how do we generate money too that doesn't require such hands-on overheads and everything as well, like our current business does? We're really thinking in the future, like we want to be able to travel. My husband's from England, and just to get back and have that freedom to take the kids and get away and do the things we've dreamed of.
Yeah, it's the ideal, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. And it takes time. Yeah, just learning this week that I need to be a bit more patient about that.
Yeah. As a society, we're getting even worse at that. We're being trained now to be able to click the button and get what we want now. And
I know.
I think it's it's bleeding into all other areas of life. It's really hard to, hard to fight against.
Oh, it really is. And it's like recognizing the triggers. Like, I know where I get to that frame of mind and that restlessness, I think back, I go, what are my triggers? And I know what they are. It's either I've probably stared at social media and Instagram way too much, or realestate.com or travel, just stuff like that. And you just go, oh, hold on a sec, I just need to get back to now. Like, I'm doing this now and I don't need to compare what I'm doing to others. I know I'm on the right path. We're all on our own different path. And yeah, it's often just checking in with myself.
So what do you do for your own well-being?
Love to do bushwalking, especially down here now. Love it down on the beach and getting out into the bush. I find I love doing yoga, and I meditate every day, sometimes twice a day, in the morning before bed. I love doing creative writing, and that's I love that. It's just a real outlet for me, and I love it so much. I've been getting up at 5:30 in the morning just to spend time in front of the computer to do it before the kids wake up. Because I found myself really getting agitated and frustrated because I had so much whirling around in my mind to put from head to paper, and I just couldn't find that space and time. And especially over school holidays when the kids were around, I thought, oh, I'm going to have to sort of solve this issue by getting up early. And it worked. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. So I've been doing it on and off now since then, because I love that quiet space and that time for myself. And
you really do have to craft out that time, like carve it. That's the word.
That's the word.
Carve. Carve
and
it
craft
out of
it.
Yeah.
You have to craft it and carve it.
You do. Yeah, because it just doesn't find itself, like the children's business, and like just find a way of taking up the space unless you actually be intentional about, no, this is my appointment with myself and I'm willing to get up early, or I'm willing to whatever it is.
Exactly. Because there's always washing and dishes and distractions that I'll always get roped into. Always, because it's like, if you don't keep on top of it, then it all feels like it comes tumbling down on you at some point. Yeah.
I'm currently ignoring a massive mountain of washing.
Good on you.
I have to on my work day. I have to. Okay, so just before we wrap up, do you have any advice for other mums that are dreaming about starting their own business?
I think being in business is amazing. Like, I really feel that we have such a capacity to make an amazing change to the world through business. Like, we can't rely on our governments and systems and NGOs to make change. I just think being in business is such a powerful way to make change. So if you are in that headspace and you want to start your own business, would just say keep dreaming and keep really working at it and chipping away. I think doing things like your investigation and due diligence and all that is super important. Business plans. I love doing business plans, and finding support and space so that you can do that, especially if you've got kids. And definitely look after your body, because you don't want to get burnout, because I think it's really easy to do as a mother in business.
Thank you so much, Sarah. It's been really great speaking with a business mama who has been in it for the long haul and has really walked through all the stages of business in between. So thank you so much for sharing your journey and your insight today. How can people find you or keep in touch with what you're doing?
So they can find us at Organic Angels on Instagram, but connecting to Soulmates in Business, you can find us there. And then you can also find me on Instagram, which is Peace Love Organic Blog. So that's just the name that I had like 12 years ago for something, and I decided to use the domain name for that for some reason. So it's not Sarah Butler, it's just Peace Love Organic at Peace Love Organic Blog for Instagram. So yeah.
Thank you so much.
Join in. Thank you, Annalise. It was so good talking to you.
Yeah, it was lovely. Bye.
Hopefully we'll meet in person one day.
Yes, we will. Thank you so much, Sarah. That was awesome.
Thank you for listening to the Business Mumma podcast. I hope you got some actionable tips that you can implement in your business right away. Please, please, please rate and subscribe, and then head on over to mumma.digital to continue the conversation and let me know what you thought. Have a really wonderful week, and if you'd like to come and say hi, come to our Facebook group, Business Mummas. See you there.